How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. In today's video, we are going to be talking about XRP and a lot of the different victories that have been achieved by XRP, what with the work they've been doing involving the establishment, how XRP, despite the different problems that might be occurring, generally in the cryptocurrency space, XRP seems to be the phoenix to rise from the ashes of the crypto space. As indicated, Ripple CTO David Schwartz defends XRP after Kraken's statement. I mean, this was an interesting article, and I think this video is going to give us an opportunity to explore a lot of the different variables that have been culminating, especially in this market. Now, of course, there's going to be your regular doom and gloom reports of, just because we saw a bad day, but I'm not disheartened to any degree, just because my attention lies in what's happening behind the scenes. That's the key in the cryptocurrency space, is reading in between the lines. So I think that it'd be good to start off this video with citing this article right here. Ripple CTO claims XRP eliminates POW risks. Seen in Ethereum Classic's 51% attacks, and this is definitely something going to be a running theme through this video. We're going to be talking about how proof of work can be manipulated, and I think we're seeing that happening right before our eyes right now. And I think this is really one of the biggest advertisements for what the world of XRP definitely stands to offer the crypto space. Of course, among other things, we're seeing stuff like Ripple and XRP discussed by Bank of England's governor in an open discussion. XRP is on the radar of a lot of these institutions, and they're doing the groundwork that's really going to be substantial behind the scenes when we're talking about current situations. Obviously, the day-to-day when it comes to cryptocurrency, I neither get excited or distressed when I see these minor day-to-day changes. I mean, certainly it's nice to see things when they go up, but hey, we're dealing with this volatile space as it is in open. But then again, when we want to talk about, now I was looking at all these different signals that we were seeing, as far as where XRP is going. Then 33 cents. It's still a little high for me. I mean, personally, I'd be a buyer at probably around like 29 or somewhere around there. Now I still see 33 as a little bit much, but then again, I was somebody who got into XRP early, and not everybody was fortunate enough to actually fill their bags earlier in the game when it comes to all these different things. But get ready. Of course, what we're going to be seeing is a lot of different cryptocurrency YouTubers are going to be out there, and you'll probably hear every opinion from this is just the beginning to this is the beginning of the end, from everywhere from your local blogger to mainstream news outlets who are trying to get your dirty laundry. I hate to burst your bubble here, but proof of work does not work. We've seen plenty of YouTubers who've been echoing this similar sentiment, and I think that it's useful for me to put this out there for my audience as well. Proof of work does not work. Ethereum 51% attacks. The fact of the matter is, when a miner can get control of 51%, it's a big damage to the decentralized component, which if there's no decentralization, then it's all over. I mean, that's the end of the game. What's the whole point of, I mean, it's just like anything else. I mean, if you're going to go for a centralized, you might as well, why are you even doing a cryptocurrency to begin with? The whole, I mean, for anybody out there who's an advocate of, decentralized tech and all these different things, that's something that I need to get across, right across the bat. And regardless, talking about, XRP, I know that a lot of people are getting ready in the comment section right now, typing out a comment about basically these different things about centralization versus decentralization that we all know already. We're all fundamentally aware of the situation when it comes to Ripple XRP, and that's not going to be the subject of this video. I mean, when we want to talk about the current state of how these 51% attacks have relatively sent echoes through the cryptocurrency space, it is something to be talked about. I mean, the fact that XRP has pulled ahead of Ethereum, I mean, the battle goes on and on. We constantly see Ethereum and XRP switching positions, and they're really fighting it out for that number 2 position. And I think that we'll probably be seeing that sort of drama continuing through 2019. Now, in particular, when we're looking at XRP and looking at all these different things that they're establishing as far as the banks and all these different elements, I think that people are fundamentally aware that as soon as the market manipulation dies, the market can't stay as manipulated as it is forever. And eventually there'll be a breakthrough of, it's plenty of people have been talking about, of course, the end of the bear market. Obviously, they kind of spoke too soon. We just recently seen billions and billions of dollars getting wiped off the face of the cryptocurrency, and I'm sure that this sting has been felt pretty hard by a lot of people who are using the HODL method. Or anybody who hasn't didn't catch wind of this before it was going to happen. I know personally, I know I've been hit by these things before when I haven't had the foresight to be able to essentially jump ship before the real tide comes in, and essentially I could say that I hope that this bear market continues personally. I would like to see the $2,500 Bitcoin, I think, is the bottom before we really can break through and see that upward momentum. That's just the model that I've been going off of. So anything above 2,500, I've pretty much been basically delegating to the role of seeing it as the bubble, a lot of the different hype. And of course it is very interesting to see how the space has been different in the current climate, regardless of what we were seeing last year. Russia on the verge of investing 10 billion in Bitcoin, and then the value goes down. It is pretty funny, and I'm sure that there's a lot of these different elements of these different countries that are basically allied with Russia, who are probably seeing this sort of thing as a buying sign, and I'm sure the manipulation that obviously you need to take into consideration. People often cite the amount of power that China has to sway the value of Bitcoin, and when you think about it, when these different technologies are being used and leveraged by Russia to basically move through and overstep certain different limitations that they might have established with their different possibilities with XRP and all these different things. But when we want to talk about the United States, USD, and the fact that Russia's basically taking these steps, they're obviously going to want to have a cheap buying in price for Bitcoin. So the average Joe is probably going to be feeling compelled to sell. Now, obviously, the HODL method, holding on through a bear market, is pretty risky. And of course, I'm going to take this opportunity to criticize a lot of the different YouTubers who are just spamming this HODL meme. Cryptocurrency isn't exactly, whether you want to just put it into a Tether wallet, hardware wallet, sit on it for a couple of years, that's your own prerogative. But in the day-to-day, if you're going to check the market cap every single day, then you're going to want to have the ability to jump ship before it sinks. Now the lifeboats have got to be ready, otherwise you're going to be getting hit hard. Personally, I do have two methods for this. I do have my crypto stashed away on a hard wallet that I'm willing to go to zero with. There's a certain Bitcoin that I bought so long ago that even at 2,500, I'd still be pretty much in the green. I'm sure that not many people have had the that same basic fortune of being fortunate enough to actually have acquired their Bitcoin when the price was low enough, and who might have bought it at like $4,000 and are feeling that that sting of it going down. But then again, there's a reason why people say hodling and all these things. You only lose when you sell when it comes down to cryptocurrency, which is also why we're always advocating on this channel that you do your own research. You come to your own conclusions, because at the end of the day, if you listen to too many YouTubers, you're going to end up feeling the sting of jumping on the bandwagon. And that's why this channel has always been meant to put out a message of telling people that you need to look behind the scenes, look at all the different actors who are at play. And I think that XRP is certainly an interesting crypto to be paying attention to as we see whether or not a few $1 billion. I mean, for people who care, I mean, it certainly does sort of sting a little, but I mean, then again, there's people who realize what's coming up ahead, and they just sort of take this one off the chin and sort of continue to fill up their bags, which is essentially to give you my opinion, that's what I'm doing. I'm basically just taking this opportunity to fill up my bags even more with the different cryptos. I'm happy to see these different prices. It just gives me more time to accumulate, which is also something that I think people who haven't necessarily committed to their what they're planning on doing in the long term, that's realistically going to be the people who are going to pay off once the bull run gets going and we actually see less of these buying in opportunities across the board. And like I said, I mean, I say this in every single video. My plan is well, what I expect to see, what I predict to see, is that things will get worse before they get better. I pretty much say this in every single video, and I expect to see Bitcoin's price to plummet even further from where it is right now. It just tends to be the state of affairs. I mean, for anybody who could tell, who could see these things, but then again, once things get going, they have a tendency to ramp up. But then again, it is also interesting to see how there is a very different, I mean, back in 2018, sort of information like Russia pumping all this money into the Kremlin, putting all this money into crypto, or even speculating. I mean, the fact that this news is even out there would have caused the price to skyrocket. But we live in a different world, I guess, right now, as far as the cryptocurrency space is concerned, and people have cold feet, I think, but that's all subject to change once we see things really, I mean, obviously Bitcoin dominance up, but that's really no indication of anything, because people are losing money with their altcoins, so they're trying to run as high as they can, and Bitcoin is the top of the tower as it currently stands. But yeah, all that being said, I mean, I think this is an interesting opportunity for people who know how to leverage it. I mean, of course, XRP, always getting these interesting news coverage, which, I mean, you have to understand how the ecosystem of the news and all these different structures operates, and it's definitely, I mean, this news article, of course, caught my attention. India's government running an XRP validator, probably because XRP's regulatory engagement team works their rear end off to get regulators to understand the benefits of using digital assets to solve liquidity plan points. So it's interesting to see, and of course we have to understand, I mean, XRP can move millions of dollars for next to no fees, and it's happening right now. I mean, if that doesn't make anybody's ears perk up, then I don't know what will. But all that being said, I think this has been an interesting video to look at all these different variables, especially in Q1 of 2019. This is really the first big hit that the market cap has taken this year, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of others, but I mean, for the most part, my confidence still remains the same. I mean, it's a good wake-up call, I think, for people that not every strategy is a winning one. You have to be you have to be smart in cryptocurrency space. It is a gamble to a certain extent before mass adoption and all these different things are underway, which we can hope it'll happen in this year, but otherwise you just have to find a way of coping with the market as it currently stands. But of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Obviously, this video is not advice, obviously not financial advice. Remember, I'm not your dad. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. And if you guys are interested in giving us your feedback, you could follow us. That's at CryptoTuber. But yeah, I expect to see XRP, once things finally get brewing again, we could be seeing some very interesting momentum shifts in XRP's favor. I mean, obviously, days like today are par for the course as far as crypto is concerned. And it's ultimately something that you can't get away from. I mean, it's pretty much business as usual in the cryptocurrency space, but I remain confident. I mean, I'm not going to back down. I mean, my stance stays relatively the same. You know, I'm feeling it just as much as anybody else is on the day-to-day 24-hour feel. But all that being said, you know, my sympathies go out to people who are feeling the burn right now. But then again, you all kind of know what you sign up for when it comes to cryptocurrency. I think this has been a pretty good video. You know, we covered a lot of information today. You know, we're making a video tomorrow shortly. And basically my 2 cents when it comes to this is, you know, on days like today, perhaps you might just want to walk away from the computer, you know, take a break, you know, go outside, do something that's separate from cryptocurrency. I mean, just to, because obsessing over these things can really bog down your brain. I know, you know, sometimes you just have to take a break from these different things, but some of us, you know, like to buckle down and you know, get to work, and I mean, that's fine too. Whatever pick your poison. And yeah, so all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe and all these different things. I'll see you guys next video. Have a good one.